This morning we are speaking to the president of the Obesity Action Coalition and a chair member to discuss how weight bias appears in every aspect of life, including employment, healthcare, education, media, and personal life, and how we can learn what to do to help end this form of bullying.
Talk to me a little bit about what weight bias is and how prominent it really is in the U.S.
So weight bias is simply negative attitudes towards people with larger bodies or who have obesity, but it leads to much worse things such as blaming, shaming, bullying, and even outright discrimination.
And you just touched on it there about it being a form of bullying. How is that a form of bullying, and what are the results from this?
You know, I have had the personal experience, and not unlike many kids, usually weight shaming starts early as 3 years old. And I had a lifetime of being ridiculed about my weight, and it by strangers, by friends, by family members, by medical professionals, all of it. And after decades, I ended up becoming my own worst bully, because I believed all those messages that being unable to manage my weight was all my fault, and that it was totally within my control, and that thinness was to be worshipped. All those messages combined led me into depression, lower self-esteem. More importantly, led me to eat even more. Blaming and shaming people at higher weights doesn't help them lose weight if that's what they are trying to do.
And what should someone do if they've experienced or fear experiencing weight bias from a healthcare provider, and to overcome that treatment stigma? I mean, you kind of touched on it there with your own personal experience, but
Right.
What should other people do if they're experiencing that?
I mean, the quick answer is find another doctor. Find another healthcare provider that understands and is willing to look past your weight. When healthcare providers don't look past your weight, it's very easy for diagnoses to be missed, for them to miss problems that are not weight-based. You know, they're often very quick to attribute any problem you have to your weight. One of the things I do to counteract that is say to the doctor, if I think that's what is happening in an appointment, I'll say, how would you treat me if I were slender? What tests would you run? What else would we consider as a cause of whatever symptoms I'm having? And it helps them move past their own biases. I mean, medical professionals live in our society, and weight bias is ubiquitous. It is everywhere. And it's probably unrealistic for us to expect them to leave all that at the door. But I do try to help them move beyond it.
Mm-hmm. And I know about the Obesity Action Coalition Stop Weight Bias campaign. Will you talk a little bit about that and how we can be a part of the solution?
Yeah, I would just encourage all of your viewers to visit stopweightbias.com as we try to raise awareness about the impacts of bias. And one of the things you can do, of course, is learn about bias, but then if you see it, say something, right? It is time for people to start standing up and saying enough with the bias. It doesn't mean it's just for people who have obesity. If you are normal weight and you want to stand up against bias, next time you see a friend or a colleague being ridiculed because of their body size, step up on their behalf. We're only going to stamp out weight bias if people stand up to it.
And is there anything else that you two would like to add this morning?
The purpose of the Stop Weight Bias campaign, in large part, is just to help people learn that they need to treat everyone with dignity and respect, regardless of their body size. Look past weight to the individual. Value that person, not their body.